common blight with annual sports games is they frequently exhibit only minor updates with each iteration. MXGP 2021 is largely the same game as last year's official motocross video game, so whilst there's plenty to get to grips with for MXGP newcomers, series veterans will likely be left frustrated with nay so much as a fresh coat of paint in developer Milestone's latest motocross sim. As MXGP 2021 is the only officially licensed motocross racing game, it's the only way to experience the real-life tracks, riders, and official race bikes which comprise the Motocross Championship. You'll have access to numerous game modes from the offset. Career mode, which Milestone state is renovated, with career path decisions having specific importance, and a quick play mode, where you can try your hand at time attacks, a Grand Prix and Championship rounds away from career mode. All the game's tracks appear unlocked and playable, so it's great that you'll get a chance to practice in one of the 3 quick modes before committing to an attempt in your career. There's also a free-roaming playground mode and a track editor. Now, if you're a newcomer to MXGP, then you'll need to spend some time practicing. The physicality of the bikes and how they handle on the low-grip muddy race surface is designed to feel realistic, so will take a bit of getting used to. There's a brief tutorial race with controls highlighted on screen, but as far as I can see it, it doesn't tell you anything which you can't learn by reviewing the game's control settings. Becoming a successful rider requires you deftly balance steering, driver weight distribution, and throttle control. See, you just can't gung-ho around the track. The mud is heavy, its low grip feels like steering through treacle, and it's super slippery when wet. Finishing high in the pecking order requires you to develop a steady approach to cornering. In short, take your time. It's very easy to lose control if you accelerate too hard and too early out of a corner. Get into the swing of the bike's handling and perfectly time your rider's lean just as you push out of a tight corner, and it's remarkably satisfying. That being said, you will bail over the handlebars. A lot. And sadly, falling off the bike or any event resulting in a respawn can be immersion breaking. You respawn almost immediately after your rider comically flies like a ragdoll into the track's advertising. Jarringly, you'll also respawn immediately if you accidentally cut a corner or miss a jump or obstacle. Personally, if I missed a race corner, I'd prefer to be penalized in another way, a few seconds added to my total race time, for instance. There's been times when I've respawned onto the track, right into an opponent's racing line, and then sent them flying. I can only imagine how infuriating this will be during online multiplayer. Perhaps incongruent to my time penalty suggestion is the optional but admittedly quite useful rewind feature. Hitting the assigned button on your controller will rewind time, giving you a fresh opportunity to successfully navigate an obstacle without running out of road. Purists might argue that the rewind feature results in artificial racing, and by and large I'd agree. However, at the early stages of your racing career, it's a welcome addition that'll save you a lot of frustration. Setting your bike up pre-race for optimum performance will be an appreciated feature for motocross and bike enthusiasts. You have options to adjust your bike's suspension, gear ratios, and wheelbase length, as well as mapping your accelerator and brake response. While the setup system isn't as deep as car tuning in a game like Forza Horizon 5, it has potential to be overwhelming if you're not technically minded. Sure, each adjustment is explained, but I still found it hard to understand which setup would deliver the best performance for me on the next racetrack. So with this in mind, it'd be beneficial if Milestone could have added bike setup presets as a starting point for riders like myself. And this is especially important as it appears adjusting your bike for optimal performance is vital to giving you the edge you need for competing at the front. Even with my opponent AI set to very easy, I still found myself oftentimes lagging in the middle of the pack after a decent first lap fighting for the podium. After experimenting with various bike setups, I was able to regularly compete at the business end of the standings, albeit still on the easiest AI settings. At this review's outset, I mentioned Milestone's promise to integrate the importance of career path decision-making. In fact, they state your reputation as a writer depends on it. From my experience, having spent a few hours on the career mode, I'm a little lost as to how my decisions thus far have had any tangible effect. You see, you select which team you'd like to race under contract for when competing in the various stages of the motocross championship. You'll level up as a rider while gaining experience points to spend on outfits. There's plenty of helmet and visor designs in the game to shop with, which to spend for your experience points. From what I can see, they're superficial changes only, with no effect on race performance whatsoever. You can't customize the appearance of your bike if you're under contract to the team either, which is kind of a shame. As this is motocross, mud-heavy tracks with sledgy corners mixed with exhilarating verticality and huge jumps are the name of the game. There isn't much in the way of track variety, but each track offers a reasonably technical challenge. Certain corners provide different trajectories, with hunks of mud slapped in the middle, which you'll need to avoid. The bike's engines sound throaty and guttural too, so while the game's graphics aren't spellbinding, they're adequate when taken in with the game's sound design. There's reasonable mud splatter on screen, suggesting the unpleasant experience of dirt flinging into your face. Changeable weather effects, such as heavy downpours mid-race, provide a richer visual experience, with reflective mud puddles splashing rainwater across your screen. It really is quite effective at conveying the sodden feeling of an unpleasant rain shower, and the bike becomes harder to maneuver in the wet, requiring gentle throttle feathering for fear of sliding off track. It's a shame that the graphically enhanced inclement weather doesn't extend to your rider appearing muddier as the race goes on, nor do tread marks on the track evolve. There is a hint of tread track left in your wake, but it's only noticeable on the race replays. Pre-race load times are often quite long. I'm regularly waiting up to a minute on my PS4 Pro for the track to load. When racing, though, I'm pleased to report that there are no noticeable performance issues or frame rate drops, overcoming a problem I believe blighted MXGP 2020. There's a degree of fun to be had in the other game modes too, but there isn't a lot of context here. Playground mode offers something different to the standard race modes, with opportunity to explore a section of Welsh countryside, free roaming through rugged terrain and dense forest, complete with castle ruins. It's a great opportunity to try out the more challenging game settings, such as Advanced, read more realistic, bike physics simulation instead of the standard default physics. There's also a couple of assist modes, such as rider weight distribution or automatic transmission, which you can try disengaging in the playground. You'll notice the difference. While the playground exploration is entertaining, it can also feel a little clumsy at times. As alluded to earlier, your bike becomes unsteady at slow speeds. As a result, navigating my way up the tight staircase of the castle ruins wasn't as fun as expected, as my bike kept unexpectedly flailing, its rear end fishtailing out like a salmon out of water. The final game mode, the track editor, allows you to create and upload your own difficult track designs. This system is reasonably intuitive, with a choice of 4 landscape types with which to plonk down your slabs of mud in any arrangement you see fit. This mode does need a little polish when it comes to testing your track. There's no map in your HUD and limited indication for the edge of your track. There doesn't appear to be any way to amend a section midway through your track either if you decide the topography would suit a jump instead of a corner. Hopefully, a patch will come through from Milestone, allowing players to get more mileage out of this promising game mode. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below, and if you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.